Hello everyone. This week's parasha is Parashat Miketz. And in this week's parasha, we have the beautiful story of Yosef and his brothers, how the brothers come down to Egypt and they get food, and the whole beautiful experience that goes on over there. And Yosef beforehand was thrown in jail, and Pharaoh at the beginning of the parasha had a dream. No one was able to interpret it. They call out Yosef to come and interpret the dream, and so on and so forth. I heard a beautiful explanation on this part of the parasha by Rav Yosef Chaim, he also wrote the Ben Ish Chai. He says that there was a story of Rav Yosef Karo, who wrote the Shulchan Aruch, and one time he was with all of his students, and they were learning Torah. They were studying a halacha in the Rambam, and they were looking in the depths and trying to understand this halacha, and they really weren't able to understand it. So Rav Yosef Karo, he stayed up all night long, looking inside and trying to figure out the explanation to this halacha in the Rambam. All night long, back and forth. Finally, at the end of the night, he figured out the explanation. He came the next day very excited to tell all of his students, I understood the explanation to the Rambam. I know why the Rambam said X, Y, and Z. As he gets there, one of his students raises his hand and says, Rabbi, can I give an explanation? I have an idea. The student tries, and he says word for word exactly what the rabbi thought. The rabbi was shocked. He was so happy on one part that his student was able to figure it out, but he was a little bit disheartened that he studied all night long and his student figured it out in one moment. Now, that night, Rav Yosef Karo went to bed, and he had this Malach HaMagid, he had this angel who would come and speak to him. And the angel told him, you shouldn't be disheartened, because the only reason your student was able to figure out that answer was because you had worked so hard in figuring it out, and you revealed it into the world, and since you revealed it, you gave an opportunity to the whole entire world to figure it out much easier. And so they say, if you look in our parasha, something very interesting. Yosef comes out of jail, he comes to interpret the dream. And he interprets Pharaoh's dream. And Pharaoh says, he says a question, very interesting question. He says, who is like Yosef, who has this spirit of God in him? Why did Pharaoh have to say this in a way of question? Why couldn't he just say, Yosef is so special because he has the spirit of God inside of him? Why did he state it in a rhetorical way? So Rav Yosef Chaim says, it wasn't a question in a rhetorical way. He was literally asking, does anyone here, has anyone have this spirit of God in them, that they actually were the one to reveal my dream, to understand and interpret my dream in the beginning, and Yosef didn't have to work hard to figure it out. And no one responded. So Paro understood, really it was Yosef who revealed the dream himself. He worked hard to interpret the dream with Hashem's help, and he was really a special one because he had the spirit of Hashem in him. A lot of times, you may work really, really hard in figuring something out, and all of a sudden, someone comes out of nowhere with very much ease, and he says exactly what you were thinking for a very long time. And the answer is, don't be disheartened. Don't feel like, oh, you did nothing. It's only because of your hard work was that person able to understand and to reveal that answer very easily. Because of all of your hard work that you revealed it, it was revealed into the spiritual world, and he was able to figure it out. Shabbat Shalom.